All right. Hello. Can you hear me?
All right. I can hear. Can you hear me?
I
Can you see me?
perfect. Yes, yes. How are you?
Doing wonderful since we caught
It's
up.
been a while. It's been some years.
Yes, yes, yes. Since we did our interview, I want to say back in 2020, 2020 around 2020, around the pandemic.
Yeah,
It's been so long.
absolutely. I think yeah, I believe it was like 2021. I remember I was in LA at the time. Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you back. Welcome for
Thank you.
coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to the Dollhouse. We are back to another episode of Style by Stevie. We are back with none other that we're catching up. How have you been? Time
I feel amazing. Thank you. So do you. I mean, listen, you got me outdone. I should have put on a suit or something. But no, I've been really well. I've been life has been beautiful. I honestly I've been doing a lot of oh okay.
yeah, we're back.
I've been doing a lot
Okay,
of
you're saying it's amazing.
thank you, as do you. But life has been good. I mean, I've been living. You know, I feel like it has truly been a journey since our last like conversation because I have I don't know I've just been out in the world, like really getting to know myself in the world, like in the literal world, doing a lot of traveling, immersing myself in different cultures and building community where I go, and just loving life and loving on life. That's been my journey since our last conversation.
And so much has changed. You now have something which we'll get into a little bit later in the show, spirit and flow, which we'll talk about. But
Uh,
from our previous interview, we talked about doing vision. I talked to you, I think, about vision boards and almost everything into perspective is now coming to fruition full circle. In case you guys missed it, I just hit a huge milestone and counting. More and more and more and more and more to come. All from just the strength of me of perseverance and just going. And maybe that I have that strong, solid circle. I have a great team of women around me. To get to the journey, how important the women who shape you in your life and your career, how important are they to you?
oh gosh, that I mean, they are pillars in my life. I mean, of course, it starts with my mother and branches out to my grandmothers. My single remaining living grandmother, she's like been even more of a rock in my life in a way that I never would have known, and she's really been she's been just rooting for the life that I've been living. Uh, the women in my friend circles, I I don't know who I would be without them, honestly, because they keep me together in so many ways. It's if I go too long without a word, they're like, okay, now what's happening, But even the way that we pour into each other, it's just it's unmatched. It is unmatched. I'm really blessed to be surrounded by so many wonderful women.
Yes, yes, yes. And you said your mother, but my mom has also been a pillar in helping me build this platform. If it wasn't for her, and I tell people this all the time, I said if it wasn't for my mother, Style by Stevie would not even be here. If it was a born baby, four brothers, two sisters, the third born, and she said that I was not playing. She said after my mother and my sister, Yes, hi, iconic. Welcome, 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 welcome. As plus, and I have a great team of women behind me from my show, co-owner of Style by to my makeup artist and my beauty contributor, Melanie Nalamai Bridges, who's been with me from the beginning, all the way back to when I first started in 16. So I'm just blessed and thankful to have these amazing women behind me, and then my colleagues, my girlfriends. Hi, Queen. Happy
Absolutely.
love. Welcome. Welcome as you're just coming in. We are here with Donny Smith, and we
Oh, I think I lost. Oh, we're here. I'm here. Are you here? Don't go away. Come back.
there we are.
Oh, did I freeze again? Am I here? Let me see. Let me make sure. Are we okay? Let me do this. Now I can't tell if I'm frozen or there we go.
And we're back. I don't know
Okay.
what is going on with YouTube today, but we were doing some for that. In the comments. March is International Women's Day, as you guys know. And all throughout this week, we've just been pouring into the amazing women, and we've had some amazing women. So, Johnny and Joe, who is coming on the show, are the only two men in my lineup for this week. The rest is women. From yesterday, we have Valerie Albert, who is a voiceover actress and artist. We had Monday, Tracy Smith, and then this Friday, we have Noelle Fry. So, the lineup has been amazing this week, and I said I'm going to pour into everybody.
Absolutely, rightfully so. So the Spirit and Flow is a movement. It is a holistic wellness movement that started back in May of 2024. Just a way to really normalize self care on a higher level than just going to the gym and the exercise things of that sort. It's really about being balanced in the mind and the body and the spirit. So I it's a community building movement that brings together different spiritual practices and modalities, health conscious living into a space where we can normalize access to those modalities, to those practices in a way that many of our communities might deem it, oh, either too expensive or out of reach. So we're like bringing it to the communities, and it's been something that's been it has been a deep passion of mine. In addition to everything else that I'm still pursuing, that I'm still expressing myself through. So it's been a real joy. So I curate workshops around. It depends. So last year I had one workshop, a 5 workshop series in New York about tapping into your inner child and like understanding that relationship, how important that is, how much we as adults are really still living in response to so many of our childhood memories, our triggers, our traumas, our experiences. And for better or for worse, it's what guides the adult mind, the adult body. And so to tap into that, to understand where so much of how we think we're living normally is coming from maybe some unconfronted matters, maybe some things that we just grew to think of as normal that may not necessarily be, or for me, it's definitely been a process of unlearning and relearning. And so it is my goal, it's my vision, it's my hope to just bring that to the people in my life, the people that I encounter wherever I go.
That's the K Tooks host of the K Tooks spot. Tomorrow, him and Tony Holly, one of our colleagues, will be going live tomorrow. So make sure y'all tune in tomorrow on my brother's show, the K Tooks spot. Right now, we are here with Donny Smith, if you're just coming in on the tail end, and we are talking about spirit and flow. Now, I've seen some of the footage from some of your courses for spirit and flow, and I'm just like, okay, this is on a whole nother level. This is all about, and I love what you said. I'm going to piggyback off of what you said, self care. That's something that I talk a lot about on, and I think we covered that in our first conversation that we had, our very first,
Yes.
when we first met. That was something, self care and how important it is, making sure that the world and the climate where you have to make sure that you are protect as much as possible. And I told my guest Monday that Tracy, I was telling her that she grew up in St. Louis, and she said she's always had to be in survival mindset. And I'm just an empty cup. We give so much of ourselves. It's human nature. It's natural instinct. We give so much of ourselves. And even with me bouncing out, taking care of my mom, hosting this platform, writing for a magazine publication, is in order in tip top shape. I'm having to be secretary to my mom. I'm having to be hairstylist. I'm having to be all of these things to her and then some. But it's like I have things, and I told her that I said you have to understand. Now I have to pour into myself as well too. So lately I've been on this fitness journey of taking care of myself. Every morning I get up and I do 30 minutes of exercise a day. And you've been watching my stories, so y'all know. And it's been amazing. Every morning I get up. It was for reason thing happened. I had an aha moment. So I went out there, on a cute little romper. I had a little romper on. I had my little white hood and my scarf because my didn't look like this. But I went out there and came back in like 7 because I typically go at 7 to 7:30. I went a little bit later. I went after 7:30, which is the time I stopped. And it was like, oh, we're going to keep walking, keep walking. I couldn't push myself to go no more. And I went right on back inside at like 7:30 because it was so freezing outside. And I'm just like, oh God, I'm not used to it. But, you got to get your body accustomed to doing it. If it's something that you have a goal that you want to complete as far as getting healthy, uh, follow it through all the way I have been. I must say that I'm happy because I'm taking time for myself to exercise. In my downtime reading, and I think that this would help anyone out here as well too who are finding or having trouble with protecting their peace and energy. And just the bond, you walking through the class, and you walk through the class, I'm like, oh yes, this is it. This is different. And I also want to touch on manifestation with you because you dropped something in our first interview, and you was just like, Masuya, I can't say too much, and you got the role. And I seen you in the trailer. I'm like, okay, all right. He was saying something because as actors in the business, you can't really give a whole lot away. But the power of manifest, not only the power of manifest, but making sure that you take care of yourself. And it shows all over you, Donnie. Like, I see a complete difference from then to now.
I appreciate that so much, and yeah, it really is amazing. It's almost like opening a time capsule based on like what we discussed before, and just seeing how between the both of us so much has come into fruition. And yeah, it's just really something that I have been living by personally, kind of in quiet in so many ways, and Spirit and Flow is a way for me to bring that to the public, so to speak. But then also, it really is as simple as it is believing in yourself. And so much of, even as an actor, so much of what we do, we have to believe in the character and the story we're telling so much that we convey that story to our audiences. So it's the same thing as as I've been doing as an actor, it's just doing it in my personal life. Like that I know what I'm meant for. I know what I'm worthy of. I know what I'm deserving of, and to keep that thought pattern strong and going in such a way that it becomes what I experience, rather than it feeling like it's so far out, it's out of reach, or something that I have to prove to others. Even it's not even about that. I think it really starts with self. So
Absolutely. How have you been maintaining your peace? How have you been navigating? Because even when I messaged you, you were like, I'm not really on social media like that. And so we did it via email. We exchanged information via email and we text. And I said this yesterday as well to Valenice, to went around. I did my girl talk with Valenice. Yeah. I was saying that it's important that you unplug. If you have to unplug, do so. Necessary. Make sure that you are taking time for yourself. Sometimes scrolling through, we pick up our phones and we're scrolling through and we're seeing everything, the news feeds, the headlines, everything. Unplug at times. So I completely get it. But for me, even hosting this platform, I alert to what's going on and aware. We also have to be aware, but don't let so much of it consume you to the point where it's like when you go in the water without a paddle or without some sort of life jacket, you're drowning in it almost. It's overwhelming to you. So you have to make sure that you're taking it in small doses. And I know it can be overwhelming for a lot of us, but I know for me, what is the word that I'm looking for? For me, it's almost like I'm a sadomasochist. I've
okay.
become numb to it, but I also know how to make sure that I am maintaining and prioritizing on my peace. And it really shows. Not just the fact that I have a damn team behind me, but
Word.
I gotta have that balance, be able to turn it on and turn it off. And where we're at right now in the space. I know how to turn it on and turn it off. And my mom will sometimes tell me, even my grandmother, who will be 82, her birthday is Saturday, and I'm excited about that. Uh, tell me, sometimes I can't even watch the news. I can't even watch what's going on. Sometimes I have to unplug too. For me, find something to do in your spare time, and it's important that you find an escape plan. You know how we always have to have an exit plan. My
Mhm.
exit plan is I love to read. I love to read, and Donnie, I think you know exactly who I'm going to bring up. Where as far as it goes to de-cleanse or declutter your life, Marie Kondo. This woman changes lives. Literally. She has a book. Let me grab it over here.
Okay.
She has a book called The Life Changing Magic of Tidying Up. So when you declutter your life, you have a better understanding. And I know for me, the whole green aesthetic behind me, everything, you different. Whereas before it was like so compiled and when you have a lot of clutter, when you have a lot of things around you, one thing she says is she always makes you ask the question. She always makes you ask the question like, what do I really need? What do I really need? And why am I holding on to this? And it's people. It can be certain things that are going on in the world. And I'm pretty sure that's something that you teach as well in Spirit and Flow people, helping them in their lives as well. Also.
Absolutely, absolutely. I because that's the thing too. Because I've definitely navigated that with families and holding on to things. I mean, it's there's some merit in it because these are past memories and experiences, and especially when as we get older and we lose or people in our lives start to transition to another plane, now physical form, and we hold on to the material things that were representative of who they were in their lives. And while that has some merit, it does get to a place where if someone finds themselves living in clutter, not even just in physical material things, sometimes it's clutter of the mind, clutter of the thoughts that, of all with all that's going on in the world. it really does impact how you navigate the day to day. I'm very adamant about. I've been in practice of minimalism, and I've been living more nomadically these days. So it's helped me to release things that I just don't need, things that I want to hold on to because either I feel like, oh, and I'll need this one day. I don't know what one day means, because I can only live in the moment. I don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow, right? So living in the moment is what's helped me to just release the things that I thought I needed, or the things that I feel like I want to hold on to. And I love that practice of like asking myself, like, okay, why do I need this? What is it about this that I'm holding on to? And it's definitely something I think that we all can benefit from in so many ways.
Absolutely. And what she's doing is changing lives. The same for you. You're changing lives through your class. You're ministering to people. You know how we say, you said holistically. We go to the doctor, and what does the doctor give us if we're sick? Medicine. What you're doing, you're providing lives who are just who they are. You know, sometimes by everything that is going on, people become so consumed and cluttered. You have a junkie death or whatever. That's an example. Our minds can be the same exact way. And I know people are just like every day is something bad is happening. But you have to be able to
Yeah,
do it. And that's something that I've been working on. And I also try to find the balance between the two, between my being well too, because I have to exist, I have to breathe, and sometimes it can be overwhelming turning on the news 24/7 or scrolling down and you're seeing something bad happen. And I know we sometimes do what is called doom scrolling. We're all guilty of it. We're all guilty of it, and I know for sure. But for me, it's gotten better. I know I'm just like, okay, I'm done for the day. Let me go and put it down. Boom, boom, boom. I'm not even gonna look at it. If I need to come back and check my messages, then I'll do that. Or if somebody texts me, K Tukes will call me and check on me like, "Hot sis, how you doing?" And those are the type of people that you have to have in your life. That we talk, and before we go on, before a show, before anything, he calls me and he's just like, "Okay, sis, how you doing today? What anything planned? Anything?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'm feeling good," because I always try to prepare myself. And what I do, I always I have a place where I put a candle. I always read something about manifestation. I say to myself in the morning is I am surrounded by people who are listening. I am grounded where I am. I have everything I need, and when I walk into a room, it's powerful. A lot of us have to remember as well too. We all have something divine, and I can't say that. Well, for me, I can. We all have something divine. Back to what Donnie said earlier about that inner child. We all have something wild that we love about ourselves. A feeling and excitement. I can't wait. Hi, Deshaun. Shout out to my colleague Deshaun. We are here with Donnie Smith, and we were just talking about the power of manifestation, decluttering your mind, and getting over the feeling of being overwhelmed. And I know for a lot, we are overwhelmed, drowning, we're consumed. But each and every one of us, we have something spiritual, something euphoric about something magical, and you have to tap into that. Trust me, I tap into my divine being all the time. And that was going to be the next part of the conversation that I wanted to ask you, Donnie. How important is the divine being? And since it's Women's History Month, how important is the feminine presence? Because you're in a feminine presence right now. So how important is the feminine presence or the divine feminine?
Is absolutely important. I mean, it is the balance of our existence. I think so. Even with the presence of women in our lives, and the strength of women, and the insight that women provide to not just to men, but to literally the communities they are a part of, it's also about that divine feminine that exists in all of us, that I think so many of us, especially men, will do well to acknowledge, to honor, to embrace, because it's also what helps us relate to our women counterparts in our lives. Everything is not just about, as far as being a man, being, hyper masculine, and you know only being the protector, the provider, the this, the that, because then if that's all, if that's the only place I'm existing in, then I'm forgetting how to communicate with my female counterpart. I'm forgetting how to be nurturing, to also be vulnerable, to also allow myself to be seen, to be held, even. And so I think it's paramount to not only acknowledge that presence, that divine feminine presence, but to also embrace it, to be able to embody it, to receive it. Uh-oh.
I want to tell what you just said as well too about hypermasculinity. It's important that men tap into that divine space as well. Because not just women, we have something, powerful inside of us, but I want men to tap into that as well too. Yes, you can be vulnerable. It's okay to let your guard down and be vulnerable. You don't have to be also all the time. But make sure that you are also, it's okay to cry. And that's the thing within the black collective, whether it may be black man, whether it be a black woman, we have been taught to withhold all that emotion. If something that triggers you, let it out. Let it out and talk to someone about it. Don't hold that thing in because it will eat away at you at the end of the day. Hyper masculinity or toxic masculinity is left an impact on our, and it's important that you are making sure that you release it. So, like this morning, I had my moment before I went on the morning walk. I had my little moment. I just started crying. I'm just like, okay, what's really going on? Are you truly happy? And sometimes you have to ask yourself these questions as well too. And it's okay to have a conversation with yourself, a self-reflection more than anything. When you look up, when you go in the bathroom to brush your teeth, stare at that mirror for a few seconds and be present. Be still in the moment. That is key for a lot of us more than anything. Be present and be still in the moment. And also tell yourself something affirming. I told y'all what I did back last year. And I took my lipstick and on my mirror I've written the word believe. Because I am a believer of all things, whether it may be the creator, the universe, our God, whatever you believe in. Find something that you believe in and make sure that you are putting time into that. Spirit and flow. We have to make sure that we are tapping into our spirit, tap into your divine being, and that means your divine feminine as well as your divine masculine. So you got to have the yin and the yang, and that's important. Be able to balance both out. But don't let hypermasculinity overconsume you. Trust me. Um, I've shared stories about how some of the men in my life and my family have had their moments as well too, as well as colleagues of mine. They've been vulnerable and transparent. And shout outs, I want to give a shout out to one of my colleagues. He's going to be going live at 6:30, so y'all make sure y'all head on over and sub to his channel. That is Bubs the Gun. I think Donnie, you would love him because
Okay.
he talks about this masculinity and growing up as a black man and how black men and in the black collective As black people, we've been taught sweep that stuff up under the rug. Mental health, don't protect your peace. Don't talk about that because you'll look crazy. People
Mm.
gonna look at you crazy. It's always been with other people. But what's hurting me on the inside is driving me crazy. It's driving me crazy. I gotta talk about it to somebody. So don't be afraid to vent, to put your emotions out there, to be uh, vulnerable, if that makes sense. Shout out to my girl Faith is Production. Shout out to you. She has something coming up. And it's important that you tap into those spirits, tap into those things, those emotions that you're feeling. And another thing I want to say as well too, and since we're in the realm of peace and protecting your peace, and I
Yes.
think we touched on this in our first conversation. It's okay to not be okay, y'all. It makes you human. It makes you human. So if you're feeling sadness, if you're feeling uh, anger, if you're feeling all of these emotions, and I know a lot of us as black people, if you know, you know, with everything that's going on, we're all feeling all these different emotions. And emotions are valid, 100% valid. And it's okay that feelings that trust me, they are feeling the same exact feelings that you're feeling. So I want y'all to know that because your feelings are valid. Your your thoughts are valid. It is up to you to tap into that energy. I diary a lot. Yes, I keep a diary. Miss Stevie, you got a diary. I got plenty of them. I got several of them. I could write. No, I wouldn't say her. I could be like ooh, the mother of Black Hollywood. She's written two books about her life, about everything, and she's been candid about. I use her as an example because she's talked about bipolar disorder and so many other things. Mental health. We have to talk a lot about it. Taraji P. Henson is another very vocal about mental health and how it has played for decades. That's 400 years. That's about 400 years of oppression. We pent up inside of us. And it's just like, how do we tap into that? How do we do it healthily? And I think going to Donnie's class, Spirit and Flow, I'll go and check it out and support what he's doing. I love what you're doing. I just love me some Donnie Smith. And that's why I brought him back on the show because I know a lot of you have been messaging me. You have been when the after the election and everything in 2024, my DMs have been flooded, Donnie. Like people have been like, Miss Stevie, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What people are scared? They don't know what direction or who to turn to. And if I can be like a leader in a way, I don't mind. And I tell people this all the time. You have to find your joy even in the midst of chaos.
Mhm.
So what has been getting me through, like I said, I'm a sadomasochist. I stay up and alert to what's going on in the news. K2 can vouch for me and tell you because I always am educating and passing on the knowledge that I know. And it's like if you ever sleep out, you always got to be alert to everything. So yes, that's something that I'm still working on myself as well. But I'm also gonna say this: find your joy in the midst of darkness, in the midst of chaos. I know it can be a lot on each and every one of us. Trust me, I know this all too well. But make sure that you are finding your joy in the midst of chaos. Live, laugh, and love. And that was going to be the next part of the conversation since it goes into maintaining peace because we know that anger is a poison to each and every one of us. Yes, anger can hurt you on the inside. Stress can too. So I know we stressed about the bills, all of these things. Yes, you got to do it. You got to pay it. But with that being said, thank God or the universe or the creator that you have another day to be alive, to be here. Because most people didn't make it.
Yeah.
Most people didn't make it. So you have to continue to keep going on living. And that's what I told people back in 2024 when the election happened. I said, you got to keep on living. And as long as I'm here and as long as I have oxygen and blood that flows through my body, I am going to continue to make sure that I'm going to be a catalyst for joy. My brother, shout out to my brother Scott Valentine. He says, "Sister, what you're doing is bringing joy and being a light to people in dark times. And if I can be that light, if I can be that joy, I don't mind. I'm okay with that, and I love it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. This platform, doing Style by Stevie, has been a for me. It's been an escape from, of course, reality, the real world. We talk about real life issues and things here, social commentary, fashion, beauty, all of those things. But this platform has helped so many people, and the responses from you guys, I want to say to each and every one of y'all, thank you. But this question goes to Donnie. Finding joy in the midst of chaos, what does that look like for you? How do you find your joy?
Ooh, laughter, humor, dancing.
What does
I,
joy look like for you?
for me, it looks like it looks like reaching out to my people, my tribe, my friends, family, loved ones, checking in, uh, finding out what's been bringing them joy, because then that's something to talk about. It's so easy to get into these conversations about, oh yeah, it's hard, it's the struggle is real, and it's like I've stopped those conversations. I'm like, the struggle is not real for me. There's no struggle. Things are challenging, but what I'm learning in that is how to stay connected to my joy. So if that means putting on a comedy or something, a movie to watch just to laugh for a little bit, going for a walk, getting out into the sun, putting my feet in the grass if I can, if the weather permits, uh, putting on some music and just dancing. I don't have to go. I don't have to be in the crowd. I don't have to go to the club. I can put some music on, make a playlist, and just dance just because I
Yep,
can, because my body can move. I have the wherewithal to move my body. Traveling is what brings me joy. Meeting new people, trying new foods, culture, experiences like those are a lot of the things that bring me joy, and especially in this time, because it's with all that is going on, it like you said, it's so easy to be consumed by what's going on. And the truth of the matter is, fear is only as great as you allow it to be in your life. Fear lives in the mind. If you think about the movie Nightmare on Elm Street, right? Freddy Krueger was only powerful because people believed that he had power. Once you dispel that belief, he had no real power, and such is the case with the fear mongering that's happening not only in this country but in this world, right? What I do too is when I do feel that sense of like fear, trepidation, I I name it. I'm like, okay, or I speak to it. What is this about? What is the fear? Because we're either walking in fear or in love. When we walk in fear, that's where the stress, the frustration, the anger, especially misdirected anger. So when I can check in with myself and be very clear about, like, well, okay, this is coming from this. I'm stressed about this, or this is upsetting me. Why is it upsetting me? What can I do now to shift that into something joyful? What is the closest thing to me in terms of whether it's tangible or non-tangible that I could experience in order to tap into my joy? I'm not talking, self-medicating or numbing. It's more like, okay, like what truly makes me happy, makes me smile. Um, there's a there's someone, Jadina is her name. She she gave this challenge of listing all of the things like I am happy when, and like listing those things and being able to come back to that list whenever I'm feeling stressed or something like that. And so I've done that. I'm like, okay, did I do this? Have I tried this? And sometimes it's gonna be a different sort of process to bring myself back to joy, depending on what I'm feeling at any given point. But it's so necessary to just constantly remind yourself that I am always within reach of my joy, because my joy is mine. It comes from me, and I can never be so far from myself that I can't tap into my own joy. You know.
absolutely, absolutely. And to anybody out there feeling that, all of the feelings, despair, uh, sadness. depression. And I'm gonna piggyback off of what Donnie just said about numbing it. We try to drink ourselves to death. We try to smoke it away. Yes, that'll be a temporary fix for a solution that you can easily go and talk to someone about. That you can find an outlet. Music has been an outlet for a lot of artists out here. Like they write about their life experience and they share it with us. And we can relate to that. We connect with the artists through their music, through their artistry. It's like their way of writing a letter to us when it's a situation that they've encountered. So you got to be able to find a productive and healthy speech. Pick up the bottle, you know, or pick up something and float, and it's just like, okay, I need to find something else. I need to find something else to do other than just doing these things. For me, writing, a lot of writing has been therapeutic. Uh, and another for me is, of course, fashion. Y'all know that I love fashion. That it's in a whole nother world. It's an escape, from reality. So you can easily pick color you want to with, but studies have the color has also and can enhance your mood as well too. So you guys know that. Um, it's always fun to be able to go through the closet and look different colors and things, or look through different fabrics. So I mean, find an outlet that works for you. And I know those are the three that work for me, which is writing, uh, reading, fashion. I love doing all of those things because they keep my mind content. Outside of that, I like to exercise my mind. So yes, uh, puzzles are a must. I have a bunch of puzzles. My mom has bought me a bunch, and I love putting things together in my life. So vision boards. Vision boards to me is like the adult version of puzzle because it's like you're trying to put the pieces of your life together, what you want to work on, whatever goal you want completed. And almost everything I'm looking at my board now. And one of the words that I put on my board now 1000 energies strong, continuing to go strong, more coming to, and so much more. A lot. And I'm blessed and I'm thankful for it. Hi, Naptown. Happy Wednesday. Welcome if you're just coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here with Donny Smith. And we're just talking about more the power of manifestation and so much more in your life and your career and healing, too, which I think is important for each and every one of us right now more than ever. So I hope you all are taking this in, and I hope that this can be helpful to everybody who is watching as well. That's for sure. That's for sure. So we shift gears here. Now, after we get into this Women's History Month trivia, it's going to be open floor, so we're going to ask Donnie some questions, Fashion Dolls, to get to ask. Since it's Women's History Month, I think Women's History Month trivia. And I told Don that's his knowledge ready. So for those of you at home watching as well, too, sound off in the comments if you know it. All right? So let's get into it. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, here's the first one. And it is multiple choice.
Okay.
So here we go. Simone Biles is the most decorated athlete in the sport. And your choices are A, athletic, B, or C, gymnastics.
Gymnastics. Did I get that right?
Did you hear me? It must have came in kind of late. That is correct, gymnastics. All right, all right, all right. Here we go, here we go. Here is the next. Okay. Was the first woman to co-anchor a music show. And here's the choice: Marlon Sanders, B. Barbara Walters, or C. Susan Sanders.
Oh, can I hear the question one more time?
Who was the first woman to co-anchor a news show? You have Sanders, B. Barbara Walters, or C. Susan Sanders.
Was it Barbara Walters?
That is correct, Barbara Walters. All right, here's the next one. Who was the first American woman to win the Nobel Prize for Literature? And here are your choices. You have A. Bell Hooks, B. Toni Morrison, or C. Alice Walker.
Alice Walker.
I'll give you a clue. Beloved, one of her published. Because we know Alice Walker, the cover.
Right. Toni Morrison.
That's it, Toni Morrison. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, here's the next one. Who was the first woman to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? A. Ella Fitzgerald, B. The Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, or C. Joni Mitchell.
Aretha Franklin.
Got it. Queen of Soul. Okay, which politician was the first black woman to be elected to the United States Congress? We have A. Shirley Chisholm, B. Barbara Jordan, or C. Carol Mosley Braun.
I feel like I should definitely know this. I should know this.
Should I give him a clue, y'all? Okay, I'm gonna give. A, okay, Regina King played her. Regina
Shirley
King
Chisholm.
played her, and her sister was also in the film. Her sister Raina was also in the film, and it was based off of her and how she. It is a black woman. That's what I. That's correct. Shirley Chisholm. If you guys haven't seen Regina King and Shirley, y'all need to go and check it out. Okay, which mathematician was known as the human computer and helped calculate trajectories for the first man in space? We have A. Kitty O'Brien Joyner, B. Sally Ride, or C. Katherine Johnson.
Katherine Johnson.
I'll give you another clue. Taraji P. Henson. That's it. Yep, 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 yep. All right, one more. We can keep going. There's so many amazing women. Okay, which of the following astronauts was the first black woman to travel in space? We have A. Kathy Sullivan, B. Mary Jackson, or May Steve Jemison.
Mary Jackson.
It's a black woman. And her picture, we've seen her picture everywhere. Like she was everywhere in this orange space suit. She had hair, and she's got dimples. When she smiles, her dimples are there. Very beautiful woman.
Oh man. Uh, I'm also I'm like my mind is like playing with me because of the I'm noticing I'm delayed. So um one more time the names please.
Let me see. Let me pull them back up. All right, all right, all right. We have A. Kathy Sullivan, B. Mary Jackson, C. May C. Jemison.
See, is it Macy Jemison? Because I know the face and the name is just not coming to me.
You got it.
Hey, it was an M.
Yes, May C. Jameson. For those of you who are wondering, yes, that is her. That is her right there. See those dimples, and she's so gorgeous. And a little bit more FYI on her. She was an engineer. She's a former NASA astronaut. She became the first African American woman to travel into space on the Endeavour Shuffle shuttle, excuse me, in 1992. This was way before I was born. I was born in '93, so look at me telling my age. I'm 32, and my mom would have been pregnant with me around this time. So, as a former physician and general practitioner, May previously served in the Peace Corps in 1983 and implemented guidelines for health and safety issues as a researcher for a variety of vaccines with the Center for Disease. So she has done a lot. Salute to May C. Jemison. Yes, yes, yes. This Women's History Month. And that is our Women's History Month trivia. And today's Women's History Month salute, make sure you guys tap my community tab because each week I'm going to be paying homage to amazing black women throughout this weekend. Today's black woman that I chose to honor, you guys can check it out on the community tab, is none other than the beautiful Kari Young. She is a supermodel and she was everywhere. Of sitting down with her, and you guys might have seen her on the cover of Cosmopolitan. She was in Maybelline commercials. She was in Revlon commercials. And you guys might have seen her in Prince's Kiss music video. So the lady with the red lipstick, that is her. That is my girl, Cara Young. So salute to her. She has been an inspiration to me and so many other African American women in the fashion and in the beauty world. So my Women's History Month salute goes to none other than my girl, my good girlfriend, my good sis, Cara Young. So yes, if you seen the post, y'all can check it out on Instagram at style by Stevie underscore daytime if you have not. Again, more amazing women throughout this week of throughout the month of March because March is International Women's History Month. And I think yesterday was Septima Clark. Septima Clark is very important. She's in Charleston, South Carolina. I have a brother there. So sure you guys are staying tuned and thank you for enjoying the information that I've been giving y'all. Someone said thank you for teaching us about our heroes. I said yes, I have to make sure that these women's stories are told. And not one more thing about Cara. Cara has also had she was the co-founder of Hair Rule. She had a hair product line and a hair salon in New York City, y'all. So, yes, she is about her business. She was on the cover of Vogue, Elle, Glamour. You might have seen her on Cosmopolitan. She even modeled for Victoria's Secret. So that's where you guys might have seen her on the catwalk with Naomi Campbell, Veronica Webb. Like they were dominating. Black supermodels were dominating in the 90s. You had Beverly Hill, you had Cynthia Bailey, you had Tyra Banks. All of them, they were dominating. he was one of the top. So again, salute to Kari Young. And we have a friend in common. So another shout out goes to Wayne Scott Lucas, who has dressed some of the most amazing women in the business. I mean, from Tina Turner, the queen of rock and roll, he's worked with her, to the woman that I truly idolize. And the reason why I color my real hair red, that's Jackson. So he worked with Janet as well too, from the Janet era all the way up till the All for You, and then so forth and so on. He worked with her, so I had the pleasure of sitting down with both, and they know each other. So yes, yes, yes. Shout out to Wayne. Shout out to Wayne Scott Lucas. All right, Pastor Dog. So it is now question hour with Donnie. Do you guys have anything for myself or Donnie? And I hope you guys enjoyed the Women's History Month trivia. Minus the delays and the live cutting it out. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation because I did, and I hope that you all take away something from this as well, which is to make sure that you're maintaining your peace and also go and check out Donnie's Spirit and Flow. Make sure that you are doing something. We all need an escape and we need to be around people. You need to be in a community. As Donnie said in the beginning of our conversation, which is making sure that you have a community, your tribe, your group around you. And my tribe is here. Whenever I come on, those little blue letters pop up and it lets me know, okay, I'm covered, I'm good. My tribe is here with me. And I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. You guys have been through me, with me through all of the craziness, all of the madness. There have been times not to get up and do this platform, but y'all have kept me going. And that's worth any gift in the world. That's worth anything. And I'm so thankful for it. So thank y'all again for that. So,
And thank
all
you.
right. So, Fashion Dogs, do we have any questions for myself or Donnie? Wrap? Any last minute questions? I have one more for you, which is what is next chapter of your life? What's next for you?
So for me, there is a Spirit and Flow workshop that is returning to New York in
It's
May.
like a
Uh,
delay. Can you hear me now?
there's definitely a delay. Let me see if I can. Oh, let me see. Okay, well that was that. But There, there's a Spirit and Flow workshop coming to New York in May. The marketing for that will start very soon. So I'm just putting that buzzer out since we're here, since we're having this conversation. I think I can kind of put the feelers out now, and it really will be about finding finding and centering self in a time like this, in the time that we're living in and navigating. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to be traveling. I recently spent 3 months in Bali, and I learned so much about myself. In it was my first time going to Asia, and what was supposed to be just like a 2 3 week trip turned into a 3 month stay, and it. I've just learned so much about myself, and I just want to continue to take that into all that I do and pursue. So there's some there's some creative work coming out that I can't yet speak on, but I'm excited about. There is just the just being, just living. Honestly, just enjoying life is what's always up and what's next for me. And I think being able to be so comfortable in that space is what is my joy right now, my peace and joy.
Yeah. All right. Make sure y'all get y'all tickets. Go sign up for the Spirit and Flow course with Donnie. That is important. Make sure that you are finding an escape and an outlet. And one more thing I want to say: navigate. We have to navigate through all of the craziness, the midst of chaos. Never let anybody steal your joy, and make sure that you are maintaining your peace. And I'm so proud of you, Donnie, for being able to Step outside of the norm, step out on your own. And I know a lot of people jumping out on faith can be scary for a lot of people. But make sure that you're taking trips, exploring the world, exploring yourself with one. And I think that that's what a lot of people can do during these times. Make sure take a trip for yourself. Take a trip. Uh, you don't have to necessarily have your group with you, your tribe with you, but do it alone. And then if you want to, you can maybe take one or two friends. But just find what works for you. Find your peace, your safe space, or your escape, and then you go from there. And that's what I will say to wrap, Fashion Dogs. So before we wrap, Donnie, any gems or wisdom that you would give to the Fashion Dogs on navigating through everything that we're going through right now, what would you tell
I would tell people to be reminded once again that your joy and your peace, your inner peace, is your protest. It is the greatest protest. It is the most revolutionary protest, especially at a time like this. To remember that the present moment is what is real and what counts. We can plan for the future, we could remember the past, but to be too far forward or so far behind is what takes you out of the present moment, and you will miss some of the most important moments of life, which is are happening now. I would say one more that it's it's so easy to give into the darkness, to lean into the complaints, the things that I don't want to do in life. But also remember that this life is so precious. We're not promised to tomorrow. We're not promised even the next hour. So if we can take every minute that we absolutely can to just be grateful for what we can do, what we can affect, impact, create in this now moment, that is the greatest gift that we're giving not only ourselves but to the people around us, and live.
them? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Which sure that you are maintaining your peace and sanity as well too. All right. So without further ado, let everyone know where they can follow you.
You can follow me on Instagram at the screen handle is Donnell, Donnell .iam. And you can also follow Spirit and Flow on Instagram, Spirit underscore the letter N underscore flow. And I'm there. Reach out, say hello. Let's talk. Let's chat.
Absolutely. And make sure you guys go check out again Spirit and Flow. There's some in May. Make sure you guys go and check out Donnie there. And Fashion Dolls, I want you all to make sure that you are maintaining your peace priority because your peace is sacred. Your mind is sacred. So make sure that you are unplugging if be necessary. So I love you all. I want you guys to have an amazing day. My Couch to God will be live in a few moments. So make sure y'all go and sub to his channel. Check me out there. And I will see you guys tomorrow, Fashion Dolls, with Josen. So make sure at 4 and have your notification bells on. Hit that bell and like button so you'll be notified when new lives and shows are on here on YouTube. So with that being said, Donnie, as always, I had an amazing time with you.
Always, absolutely. And thank you again. Thank you so much. I love you so much.
You too, love you too. And we'll definitely chat because I'm going to bring you back on the show. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. I love you all. And this show will be up so you guys can go back and catch the replay. I love you all, Fashion Dolls. Till next time, take care.
See you everyone.
You too.